historic landmark and the oldest roadside attraction in America. In 1881, James Lafferty, a Philadelphia engineer and inventor, built Elephant Bazaar, which was Lucy's first name. Lafferty's patented design was based on the world-famous circus elephant, Jumbo. The elephant would be the center point of his new real estate business. Let's take a look at the world of James Lafferty in 1881. There were only 38 states in America. 3 men served as president of the U.S. in 1881: Rutherford Hayes, James Garfield, and Chester Arthur. Thomas Edison began construction of a generator plant in New York City that would power his new invention called the light bulb. The Statue of Liberty would open 5 years after Lucy, and the Eiffel Tower would open in Paris 6 years later. Lafferty was involved in 2 other elephant buildings as well: Light of Asia in Cape May, New Jersey, and Elephantine Colossus in Coney Island. Sadly, neither of the 2 elephants would survive into the 20th century. Only 6 years after starting his real estate business in South Atlantic City, Lafferty is forced to sell to the Gertsen family. It is John Gertsen's wife, Sophia, who actually renames Elephant Bazaar as Lucy. It would not be until 1901 that automobiles would be manufactured in the United States, so the earliest visitors to Lucy would either walk or came by horse and carriage or by train. The Camden Atlantic Railroad, which extended from Atlantic City down to South Atlantic City, would eventually expand service to Lucy. In 1909, South Atlantic City secedes from Egg Harbor Township and becomes Margate. For the next 50 years, Lucy is a summer home, a tavern, and of course, one of the most famous roadside attractions in America. And Lucy remained in the Gertsen family until 1970, when she was donated to the Save Lucy Committee. Just as horse-powered carriages gave way to automobiles, air travel in the 1950s opened up new vacationing possibilities. Atlantic City started to see a decline in tourism, and so did Lucy. By 1962, Lucy was condemned. She sat for an additional 7 years until 1969, when she faced imminent destruction. That's when Josephine Herron, Ed Carpenter, and Sylvia Carpenter, and a local group of activists came together to form the Save Lucy Committee.
I guess on the beach one day, I think I was in the ocean swimming with my friends, and I happened to look down the beach and see the elephant, and I thought, my goodness, it needs to be repaired. It looks terrible. I was shocked to see the condition that it was in, and I spoke to my friend, and I said, don't you think somebody ought to do about it?
Endless fundraising efforts, private donations, and an elephant-sized public relations campaign all came together to make the impossible possible. On Monday, July 20th, 1970, Lucy started the slow and steady 8-hour walk 2 blocks away to Decatur Avenue, where she stands today. It was a major media event and even made the coveted back page of Life magazine that summer. Now the real heavy work began to restore Lucy. 4 more years and Lucy finally reopened to the public. In 1976, Lucy was granted the honor of being designated as a National Historic Landmark. Visitors often ask, what is the biggest challenge in caring for Lucy the elephant? The answer is simple: the weather.